Hi everyone, this is Jen with Gen X Stitches. Welcome to my floss tube. Today is Friday, July 25th. It's been over a month since I last filmed a video. I tell you, life has been lifing. I've been really busy. I kept meaning to film before now, but things just didn't work out, and here we are. So I thought, even though I was pretty lazy today and just bumming around the house, I said, let me pull back my hair and just get this thing done. So here we are. So I figured I'd start with a few life updates and then go into the stitching and all that fun stuff. So let's see what's happened since I've last been on Flosstube. Our cat Stevie, who you've seen in my previous videos if you watched before, had to have surgery to have a growth removed from her ear. She did beautifully. Everything's going really well. So the doctor assured us that it was benign, nothing to worry about. So good news on that. Let's see. We also celebrated the 4th of July. We kept it pretty low key. On the 3rd of July, our town did their fireworks. They do them at the park just at the end of our street, so we're able just to walk down and watch them, which was really nice because the traffic getting out of there, it is a nightmare. So my brother, who lives close by, came over, parked in our driveway, and my husband and I and my brother and his girlfriend all went down together and watched. So that was really nice. And then on the 4th, one of my great nieces turned 1, so they had a pool party for her birthday. So these kids are growing like crazy. Let's see, what else? I guess around the 8th of July is when I went on my girls' trip to Panama City Beach in Florida. I go with my 2 sister-in-laws, my husband's 2 sisters, and a friend of ours. So the 4 of us, I guess this was maybe our 8th girls' trip we've done. We don't make it every single year, but we do make it most years. And it was celebrating our friend's 50th birthday as well. It was a good trip. I didn't get sunburned, which is a miracle in itself, which is great. The ride, we drove down, and the ride back was a little packed in the back seat where I was. Couple of people had bought beach chairs while we were down there and wanted to bring them home, so the trunk was full. Like, I am a notorious overpacker. I had a huge suitcase. We were only there for 4 days, and I don't know, I packed like 6 pairs of shoes. It was crazy. I do this all the time. I take way too much stuff. Half of it I don't even use. I don't know why I do that. One of these days I'm gonna figure life out and only take what I need. So I got a bunch of crap from the other ladies for that, but that's okay. But we had a great time. I'll try to insert some pictures if I can figure out those editing skills. I'm not the best editor, but we'll see what we can do. And then so we got back from girls' trip. We got back on a Monday. I went back to work the next day on Tuesday and worked Tuesday through Friday. And then that Friday, which would have been the 17th, after I got off work, I tried to get a good couple hours power nap. And then my son and I embarked on a road trip. He's my youngest. He's 20. And this kid, he is a workhorse. He works 2 jobs, and A lot of times he works 7 days a week, and I just worry about him burning out, even though he assures me he won't. He doesn't have, I mean, there's not a reason why he's working that much. He has a car payment, but it's pretty minimal. So he doesn't have a lot of expenses. He's just one of those kids that can't sit still. So we did a road trip to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. He loves roller coasters, so I thought it was pretty cool. He still wanted to hang out with his mom. We went there, and I have not been on a roller coaster in probably at least 15 years. So it's about an 8-hour drive from where we are. I drove to, I guess I made it to about Defiance, Ohio, probably about an hour and a half out before we decided to stop for the night, because we were going to do the park all day Saturday, so I needed a good night's sleep in order to do that. So I thought, oh, we'll just wing it. Bad decision. I pulled over at the exit and made sure as I exit that had plenty of hotel options. I don't know what was going on in Defiance, but almost all the hotels until the last one were completely booked. And the last one did have a room, so thank goodness. I stayed, and of course I was already worried because I had heard the air quality was pretty bad because of the Canadian wildfires, and I was like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? But Saturday was supposed to be better, so we powered through. We got to Sandusky, I guess about 8:30. We got to the place we were going to spend the night at one of the Cedar Point resorts. We checked in. It's really nice there. If you get there early, if they have a room that's open, they'll let you check in before check-in time, which was great. We were able to drop our luggage off, picked up our park tickets, and head over. So Cedar Point is like on Lake Erie pretty much, and resort guests get an hour before everybody else that's available to them at the park. So we get there, and my son makes sure we hit the roller coasters he wants to ride the most first. So like I said, I have not been on a roller coaster in over 15 years. And I was excited because that was a goal of mine, to ride a roller coaster. I used to weigh considerably more and went on a weight loss journey, lost over 150 pounds, and so that was one of my goals, to be able to ride a roller coaster again. So the first one we went on was this roller coaster called Siren's Curse, and it's a tilt coaster, so you're literally hanging. It's like you're hanging over the side. I highly suggest you go look up a YouTube video so you can see what this thing is about, because it was scary, and you can't pick where you want to sit on the coaster because of how popular it is. And by pure luck, we're going to be in the very front seats. So that, oh my goodness. So that was an experience. Yeah. I'll try to see if I have pictures of us at the park to insert. But we rode like 5 coasters, and then I was like, okay, Luke, I need a little bit of a coaster break. Let's grab some lunch. So we went to grab lunch, and it was a hot, humid day. And I'm just sitting there, and I was just like, I need some air conditioning. So we walked through the shops where it's air conditioned. And I was like, Luke, I'm really sorry. I need to sit in the air conditioning somewhere. So we go out to the car, we get our re-entry tickets, go out to the car. And he was cool with it. And I was starting to feel better. And the next thing I know, this poor kid is out of the car, and he is puking because the heat got to him too. So we ended up going back to the resort so he could rest for a little bit. and he wakes back up about 6 o'clock in the evening, and I was like, do you want to go back? And he's like, we can, I have a headache. I was like, don't force it, it's not worth it. And he kind of felt bad because I had spent money on this trip, but I didn't feel bad. I mean, I wasn't worried about that at all. Like, to me, it was all about being able to spend some one-on-one time with him, which I was able to do. So the money wasn't important. So, but I think he was a little bummed out, so I feel bad for him. But it was great to be able to just hang out with him. And like I said, anytime your adult children still want to hang out with you, that's pretty cool. So, so we came back on Sunday, which was my birthday. Pretty low key. Ordered in some of my favorite pizza for dinner. That kind of thing. Nothing huge. And then I've been on vacation this whole week. And again, life keeps lifing. And one of my other kids are kind of struggling with things. And I've been worried about her a little bit, but we're working through it. So I did get to go to the zoo with one of my daughters and spend a little time there, so that was nice. And again, if I can figure it out, I'm going to try to insert pictures from girls trip and Cedar Point and the zoo. I'll go from there and see. But if you don't see any pictures, it's because, sorry, there was a bug flying around. If you don't see any pictures, it's because my editing skills really suck, and I'm still trying to figure out this whole YouTube video thing. So we'll see. But yeah, that's enough life updates. Let's get to the stitching, I guess. I don't have any finishes. I do have some starts and some WIPS, and then haul, of course, and then let's see. So we'll start with the new starts. So we'll start with this one. So this is East Coast Tier from Erin Elizabeth. So I started this. And hold on, bad stitcher me. It's still in its frame, but that's the start. Let me pull that down. That's the start I got. So I got the lighthouse and part of the fisherman done. I tend to be a top left hand corner starter. Oh yeah. So that's one of my new starts. And then my next new start is my daughter Emily, her fiance Maggie, asked for me to cross stitch her something for her birthday. And I told her to pick out a chart. She gave me 5 to choose from, so this is the one I ultimately decided to pick out. Was All in Love by my big toe. Her birthday is next month, so I need to make this a priority. But I think it'll stitch up pretty fast. I worked on this actually a little bit in the car on the way down to Florida on girls trip. So far it's turning out pretty nice. That's where I am. I think you can see that. So it's not a huge chart by any means. So, but I do want to get it done because I have not ever framed anything. I would like to frame it for her. So we'll see. We'll see. I still have a couple of weeks. I think I could probably get that knocked out, the stitching, in 2 or 3 nights. I just gotta gotta dedicate the time. And then I think this is my last new start, is Beach Rules by Primrose Cottage. I love this. I'm a beach girl, for sure. And let me see. And this is, I just got a little bit of a start here, but there's where I am. Got the palm tree and the shells, I got the bee and beach, and the start of the top border. That's where I am. So fun. I really was having a good time stitching this. And I believe that's all my new starts. I don't think I had any other ones. Needle. And then, oh, sorry. Noisy. Let's see. Then we'll, oh, I keep on forgetting to put charts back in. Then we'll go into the WIPS I've worked on. So we haven't worked on this a ton since you last saw it. This is Strawberry Naps by, oh, I always hold this the wrong way, by Lindy Stitches. You know, we have two black cats. One's Stevie, which you've seen, and one, his name is Nelson. And Nelson's my daughter Emily's cat, and I'm stitching this for her. So you can't see, I have this still in the Q-snap because I was working on it right before I started filming. But I'm just working on eating my vegetables, getting the black filling in. So yeah, it's getting there. It might be next year before it's done, I don't know, but keep plugging away. So made a little bit of progress on that. And let's see what else. Oh yeah. I joined the Welcome to the Circus Sal from Frosted Pumpkin. Am I saying that right? The Frosted Pumpkin? Yeah, I think so. And I'm stitching this on, I believe this is Evil Queen by Bestitch Me. And the second part's been released, but I'm still working on the first. Shocker, I know. But he's getting some progress. He's almost done. He's a handsome guy. This is so much fun. I love the color. So the next part, if you haven't seen, is a hippo, I believe, on a tightrope. And she's holding an umbrella in one hand and a pretzel in the other. How cute is that? So can't wait to get back to that. And then I did a little bit more work on Summer Feels from the Artsy Housewife. I also didn't take this out of the Q-snap. But I finished this flower and started this motif up here. So, again, making progress. It's really fun. This stitch here is probably the one I'm having the most fun with currently. It's just, I don't know, I'm just really enjoying it. And then, let's see. I worked on Spring Rain by Teresa Kogut. Look at that bunny. He's so good. He's so cute. I love the plaid pants. So, let's see. Since I showed this last, hopefully you can see this okay. I got the umbrella in. I think last time I just had like part of the handle, but I got the whole umbrella in. And then I started that white collar, or the white fur right there. So this one's also a lot of fun, actually. I wasn't sure, actually, after I got the fabric. This is the called for fabric. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it, honestly. This is, let's see if I can find the name of it. Oh, Grandpa's Sleeve by XJU Design. Hope I'm saying that right. It's just a little more yellow than I thought it would be. So I don't feel like the stitching shows up quite as well. And then I've also put in some work on Cherry Magpie by JX Stitches. Like this. Oh. I don't know how good that's showing up, but I finished this red in here and started doing this other line, so that's where the progress has come in. This is so pretty. And I love this fabric. This is Huntress by Picture This Plus. I know a lot of people say that Picture This Plus is tight. I don't find that, at least not on this piece. That is not the experience I am having at all. In fact, sometimes I feel like my needle just falls out of the hole. I don't know. I will say the one thing, something about this fabric attracts every piece of cat and dog hair that might be floating in the air in my house. I don't know if it's because of the dark color or what, but I literally have to sit with a lint roller by me as I'm stitching because I don't know where, I mean, I get it, I have pets, but it seems a little crazy to me. So those are my WIPS. I guess we will do some haul. Let's see. So part of my birthday present from my husband was he took me to Color and Cotton, and I got to do a little bit of a shopping spree. So I was very thankful for that. I had a good time. He hung out with me. He didn't, you know, he was a good sport. I'll say that. He was a good sport. This is the second time I've been to their new location, and it is fabulous. Oh, sorry, Luke. But let me show you some of the things I got. Some of the things I kind of already put into project bags, so I will. It might be kind of piecemeal. It's not the way I would normally do haul, but it's okay. So I have this chart, Iris is in the Garden by Works by ABC, and so I was like, I want to kit this up. Well, I am in the Color and Cotton Soft Neutrals Fabric of the Month Club, And the fabric for July was this Queen Anne. And I thought, oh, that's perfect. That is perfect for this pattern. Okay, so that's one. It's one piece of haul. So I've already assigned this to Iris in the Garden. So since I already had fabric while I was at Color and Cotton, as part of my little birthday spree, I was like, let me get the called for floss. And the called for is Threadworks. And so I hope these colors are showing up okay. I hope I don't have to refilm this. I'm worried about the light. It's getting a little dark in here, I think. Hopefully you can see that okay. But anyway, so I got, that was part of my haul, is they called for floss for that chart. So that's ready to go. That can go into a project to be started. And then I had placed an order with 123 Stitch at some point, just to order a couple of pieces of fabric for some charts, because I needed something. What it was I needed a piece of fabric for beach rolls, which I forgot to call out what that was. But while I was on there, I also got this lamb's wool Ada, which is the called for Little House Needleworks Frosty Winter. That color really isn't showing up good at all. But anyhow, I now have this fully kitted. This can go into the pile for new starts. When I'll start it, who knows. Let's save this one for last. And then, I showed this in my last Flosstube. I had bought Garden Bell by Jed X Stitch. Word to hard. And I placed an order with Abby Top Knot Stitcher for the bead pack and the Threadworks. So Abby got those out to me super fast. I mean, I think it might have shipped the same day. If not the same day, the next day. Shipping is so quick. So I had this. And so I just needed fabric. And I went through my stash. And I think I just want to show you what I picked out to stitch that on. This is a Be Stitch Me. It was at April 2025 fabric of the month called Wild Bouquet. And I think this will be absolutely gorgeous for this. And there's some purple and some blue and a little bit of green, and that will be perfect, I think. So that's what I'm going to use. That's the fabric I'm going to use on that. So, but the beads and the Thread X, definitely the haul. So that is fully kitted and ready to be a new start. When I get to it, I don't know. You can't start it. You can't finish it unless you start it, right? And then this is the fabric I originally bought for beach rolls. No, incorrect. This is mushroom. This is mushroom Zweigart or Lugana. And I originally bought this for, let me show you. I originally bought this for Satsuma Street Holiday House. And once I got it in, I don't know, it just didn't, it wasn't speaking to me for this pattern. So what I decided to do was, instead, I'm going to use this for Birds of a Feather, the birthday cats. So here's the January birthday cat that I have. I have January, February, March so far. These have been remastered by Sherry of Colorado Cross Stitcher. So I think they're adorable. And as you know, I'm a big animal person, but cats are really cool. So I'm gonna try, I think the called for this is Weeks Dye Work Cocoa. But I think this mushroom will work out okay. So while I was at Color and Cotton, I got the called for overdyes for the January cat. So that included Classic Colorworks Cool Azul. And then from Weeks Dye Works, we have Kentucky Bluegrass. We have Parchment. We have Garnet. Graphite. Navy. And Galvanized. So that one's ready to be started now too. So, like I said, I have January, February, and March. Let me get through those, and then I figure I buy them like 3 months at a time. I'd like to make those into little pillows and display them each month in my joke bowl. And then so, Holiday House. And I bought that for Holiday House. Didn't love that fabric for that. So when I was at Color and Cotton, I got this. It's a one-of-a-kind cashel laminate. 28 count. So I think I'm going to do Holiday House on this and see how I like that. I was struggling to find what I really wanted to do Holiday House on. I think this will work. We'll see. I always say that the right pattern comes along for each piece of fabric. We'll see. So this should be a start this month if my plans work out. Okay, so hopefully. I haven't done any Christmas in July stitching. I really wanted to. It hasn't worked out that way though. And then also while I was at Color and Cotton, I have the pattern for Floating House. I was looking for a piece of fabric to start this on. I didn't need a big piece. So while I was there, I picked up this. This is 1/8 of a yard. It should be big enough in 32 count Lugana of Vintage Stormy Night. I think that'll work out well. Okay. And then my last purchase from Color and Cotton. Wait a minute, this is already to be a new start. So, as I mentioned in my last video, I bought the chart for a peacock, a unicorn, and a badger. And the first time I went to the new Color and Cotton, I was like, I didn't want to do this, and I think this called for is maybe NPIs. And then there's a DMC conversion. Oh no, maybe Aveus silk and DMC cotton. So anyway, I decided to do my own Color and Cotton conversion. So I used the DMC as a guide. Well, I started doing that and I didn't have fabric yet. So while I was at Color and Cotton spending birthday money, I searched and searched for fabric. And I think this will work out. I didn't want to stitch all the green. So I bought a half a yard of, this is 32 count. It's called Forest Floor. So I'm going to use this as my background. I think it'll be fine. But I do have a couple of concerns. So here's that. It's got a little bit of a yellow hint to it, but it does, I mean, it does remind me of a mossy green. It's not quite as a dark green as the green that's called for. I know a lot of people use, there's a Roxy floss, no. Roxy fabric that people use for a peacock, unicorn, badger. So let me show you my conversion. And then I'll tell you. So here is my conversion. So I have Turtle Sunday, Permafrost, Saffron, Marigold, Carousel, Trapeze, Tinseltown. I accidentally, when I was there the first time, I bought Tree Lot, which matches the number for the green background, which I'm not planning on stitching, so I really don't need this for the conversion. However, let me show you. I did grab a Gentle Arts Pebble. I think there's one Gentle Arts in one Classic Colorworks lapis. I don't know if I showed Tuscan. Some needed multiple. There's Tuscan Sun, in case I didn't show it. Up on the rooftop. There's Wood Chip. Showed that. Midnight, which is a blue. Cottage. This is a really dark, deep navy blue. Elderberry. Legato, just like maybe a grayish green. Trying not to show the duplicates. Fair Isle. I know these colors are not showing up true. Burlap. Brass. Here's the Classic Colorworks. Blushing Beauty. I got Sunflower. Cherry Cobbler. Toadstool. Drummer's Drumming. That's not showing up very true. Definitely, maybe that was closer. Chameleon. Tinseltown. Showed Midnight. Peanuts, which I'm not sure if I'm using. I have an extra brown, so I think I originally was going to go burlap, and then I'm not sure if I'm doing peanuts or wood chip. And I got Bumblebee Pale. I know I showed saffron. Okay. Now, two of the greens that I converted to, I think I'm worried they're not going to show up. One of the colors I pulled was Tortoise. That might be okay. And the other one, Tomato Leaves. What do you guys think? Do I need to change them out for something else? I'm just not sure. I have all the Tree Lot, which is darker, which I might use instead for one of them. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to see how it looks after I stitch it and what the color, if the color surrounding it make it pop or not. We'll see. But anyway, now this is ready to start, which is exciting and also a little nerve-wracking, honestly, because this will be a big project and I want to do it. I want to do a good job on it. But I think hopefully we'll see. I mean, we'll see. What do you think about the fabric choice? I think it'll be okay. I make decisions and I second guess myself. So, but that's ready to be a new start. I need to add those to my decision wheels. I had planned on starting Fish and Ships from Long Dog Sampler as my birthday start. I didn't stitch anything on my birthday. And then other things happened and I just wasn't. So we'll see. Continuing with haul, I got my June Atomic Ranch Fabric of the Month in Handle. I'm sure you guys have probably seen this on other videos by now. It's a nice gray. It's got a little bit of, I think a little bit of a blue tint. I don't think I had this last time. My June Bestitch Me Fabric of the Month. So every other month it's a color and the opposite month it's a neutral. So this is called Tropical Island. How gorgeous is this? This is gorgeous. So I don't know what I'm going to stitch on this, but there is a Lindy Stitches pattern that's a big blue parrot, which I think would actually be pretty on this. But we'll see. I think blue, something with a lot of blue would show up really good. And obviously I think it has to be something kind of summery or jungle or something along those lines. So I got that. And then I just got the July Fabric of the Month, which is a nice gray. This is Bestitch Me again. So it's called Weathered Relic. And I get the 32 count Lagana. It's so pretty. I love stitching on gray fabrics too. I really love Bestitch Me fabrics. They're probably my favorite so far. I haven't tried a ton, but so far they're my favorite. As part of my birthday present, my husband also bought me, besides the Color and Cotton little shopping spree, he had gotten me other things too, but he got me 2 new needle minders. There's a black cat and here's a turtle. So those are super cute. You can't have enough needle minders. And then the rest of my haul is, let me grab everything out. That's, oh no, that's not the rest. Here's the last of my little Color and Cotton haul. So when I was there, they also had some pretty cool stickers. And so picked out two. If you can't read that, that says, "Are you overthinking what I'm overthinking?" If that is not me, oh my gosh, anybody who knows me knows that that is me. And then they had this fabulous haunted house sticker. How can you not? I love this sticker, so good. Okay, now I think that's all my color and cotton haul. And then I had also ordered the Primrose Cottage Sip and Stitch box. First time I've ever done that. So let me see if I can show you. So it came with this chart, this Sweetly Sane chart. This Home Sweet Home chart. And then I need to see if I can, you may not be able to see it. There's this Red Barn chart, and there's the picture. I'm hiding the chart because it's on the same page. And then it came with finishing supplies. And then it came with a big Red Barn needle minder. A Little Bo Sheep bag charm. Home floss drops. And then the called for DMC. This cute little notepad. And then I didn't grab it. It also came with a coffee mug. So that was everything in the Primrose Cottage bags. That's ready. That's everything I need to start that. And then let's see. I was at Michael's one day. What is this? Yeah. And I don't know, I was just browsing their little unfinished wood section, and I picked up these two things. I mean, $2.49. This is a 6-inch wreath ring, and then this cute little heart. I figured I could use these as somehow maybe to finish. We'll see. For that price, I just thought I'd grab them. They were $2.49 each. And then, well, not haul really. I was cleaning out a craft cabinet of mine because I have way too much craft supplies and I need to start using it. I have fabric and yarn and all kinds of things. But I found these little wooden plaque in this round. So I'm thinking maybe I can use these for finishing too. So I just pulled this out. So that concludes haul. And then I just wanted to show everybody a few cross-stitch adjacent things. So, if you don't follow Katie, Jeremiah's mom on Flosstube, I don't know what you're doing with your life. She is the sweetest, most positive lady I think I've ever seen. And her and then her son Jeremiah does her wheel spins to pick her WIPS for the week. They are so sweet. So anyway, she had a tutorial the other day, like a Flosstube extra, and she takes cardboard boxes like from, you know, food items like old cracker boxes or from soda boxes, and she makes floss drops out of them. I think she calls them trash drops or something, but they're super cute. And anything that's recycling is a great thing. And so I watched her tutorial and I kind of started to do that. I decided to make my own. So I tend to keep every card I ever get. What am I going to do with them? I don't know. So I decided to make, using her little tutorial, make floss drops out of them. Now they're not perfect, but they're not uniform in size, but I wanted to make sure I got the part of the card in that I wanted to be seen. So aren't these so cute? So easy, so fun. So anyway, I'm gonna tag her down in the comments. So check out her little her tutorial. It's super good and super easy. Like, how can you not? So look at that little Christmas cat. Oh my gosh, so cute. And really, the supplies are not that much at all, and we all spend money on our hobbies, so that's so cute. So I did that. So again, give her video a watch, and if you're not following her, give her a follow, because she is so sweet. Sometimes I just make floss drops out of what do you call that paper? I guess like cardstock. Nothing fancy. We've had some painting projects over the last year and a half around the house. And so I save whenever I pick up paint samples. And so I made a set of floss drops out of those too. So, I mean, I already had them. Why not? They're kind of fun. I like looking at the different colors. So, just another way you can do them. I also sometimes do them out of playing cards. So, because I get bored, I need new things. So, when I was on girls trip, one of the things I bought was a set of these shells playing cards. So I'm gonna make floss drops out of those. And then when I was on a work trip to Boston, I got a couple of sets of these lobsters. And these just say Historic Boston. I'm gonna make floss drops out of those. Yeah, so what else? Oh, Needlework Marketplace's releases are starting to drop of what's going to be available. I think that's around August, maybe mid-August, mid to late August. I know Millennial Fabrics, their Facebook page has been listing all the new pre-orders as they come up. There's some good ones already. I already know there's at least 3 or 4 that are going to be must-haves for me. So go check that out. Boomerang Stitches, I think she has listed if you're a fan of hers. Like, how can you not? Her use of color is so great. Who else did I see? Oh, Stitches by Ethel. I don't know if you are familiar with her Chicken and Waffles chart from, it was a Christmas chart. She has a Halloween chart now with Chicken and Waffles, which I love. Yeah, some good stuff out there. So let me know what you're excited to buy. And that is it. I'll try not to make it a month until the next time I film, and hopefully by then I'll have a lot more to show. But yeah, and hopefully life is calms down a little bit. That would be nice. I know I have go back to work on Monday, and then I have some time off in September, and then some time off in October. Hopefully we'll be traveling in October for our wedding anniversary. But yeah, until then, just take care and remember, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. And happy stitching to everyone. Thanks for joining me. Bye.